What it do? It's your boy Smallz. You know what I'm saying? We chilling. Anything is possible, baby. We behind the cut. We are none other than yours truly, my guy from all over media. You know, you've been seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Tell the people your name, man.
Kaution700, AKA John Brown. All over media, all over overall. You know, all of that, man.
Damn, man. My boy ain't behind in front of the camera much.
Nah, man, just, you know, especially not like this, you get giving people a peek into, you know, the process.
Ooh, that shit crazy, man.
But the usual, you know, with stuff like this, especially kind of from where it started at, this kind of like, you get access to this. This is the point where it all started, honestly. Conversations about it. You know, the barbershop is one of them places where you automatically just, for some reason for men, we just come in here and spill our souls anyway. So
it's the vibrations.
Yeah, man. And you know you got a good barber when you feel comfortable telling them your business too. So you know, when they can get it out of you, you know what I'm saying?
You got that client and you know, that confidentiality clause, you know what I'm saying?
That's important. That's important.
As a barber, man, you can't be out here running your mouth.
Nah, you damn near like a lawyer. You know too much.
You telling folk business out here, man.
He's like, man, I don't know how they found out. I ain't tell nobody. I think I told my barber.
Boy.
Nah, man. But yeah, definitely, bro. Glad to be a guest. You know, guest, feature, produce it, whatever, man. Any involvement is love.
And the crazy thing about it, this man is recording this podcast right now and getting a haircut and recording.
Facts. Yeah, we tried it once, you know what I'm saying? It gave me the confidence to be able to do it. So I'm like, you know, why reach out to a million people to help you when you can do it yourself, man? So the more we figure out how to make this thing roll on our own, the better. So, and it's a dope concept in itself. So we get content out of it either way.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Man. But I just want to say, man, one reason why I fuck with you, because you got a hell of a grind.
I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen within a year of time, you take a machine and perfect that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, bro.
I don't think people understand, like,
nah.
what type of, you know what I'm saying?
Probably you and my wife could probably really understand the magnitude of it, because if I wasn't there, I was here with it. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to figure it out, bro. Like trying to figure it out. Like what worked, what didn't work. Like, you know, it wasn't something that somebody taught me how to do. So it's just a matter of doing the work. You know what I'm saying?
How did you find out about even the machine and what machine you use?
Man, it was just really just the basic roadcaster is where we started at. And like, when we first started wanting to do podcasts, like the place we went to initially, they had a dope little setup. You know, the video part was cool. So we was like, oh shit, we could do a video podcast. Like, this is what we gonna do. But the audio wasn't too good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we ended up going to my guy, shout out to Mark McCray. He had a place called Podcast Suites. We found him and we just started going to him because he was a radio guy. So he was big on sound. And the main thing that I seen that Mark had was he had a roadcaster, you know what I'm saying? But he had like professional radio quality microphones that he was using and it sounded immaculate. So I was like, well, if I can put the video quality with the audio, then maybe we could have something, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe we working with something, but you know, just taking a while, bro, just going about things different ways, seeing what worked and what didn't work, bro, and eventually got to where we are now. Which is crazy to even think about, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really crazy to think about. Like, if you really put the pieces to it together and like all the stuff that we've been able to accomplish and like, you know, branding and becoming like an entity where people are paid to have the service. Like think about where we started, bro. Like, I was in that room back there.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I was in that room back there.
Yeah, that was a conversation. Like, shit, let's run them out of here.
For real.
But, you know, even from the beginning, when you was just doing your own podcast, like you was starting with the sports shows. Yeah. And you wasn't recording those, right?
No, we was having somebody else do those. Actually, that's probably the reason why we haven't done one in a while, because we don't have anybody to film it for us. So we just never really, we just stopped doing them because but when it had to be a live show. Like I figure if it's a sports show, we need to be live doing it. Like I don't want to post record and do, post work on it. So, but yeah, that's what we started doing first.
So
just experiment.
Because at first it was just audio, right? All podcast was audio, really wasn't no video.
The initial ones, yeah, the visual podcast, especially for hip hop and like that kind of that niche lane, really didn't start until like the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And so like even when we started doing them, it wasn't a lot of people with visual podcasts. It was just people that had like the audio only joints. Like those are still popular, and they are to this day. I got a lot of audio only podcast clients now that I really appreciate. So. But we always wanted the visual aspect because I just felt like I paid closer attention. Yeah. If you had a video with it, you know what I'm saying? You got a little setup, you got your lights, your name somewhere. Like I always thought that was dope. So, and then if you think about like the Breakfast Club and that kind of industry, if you really think about it, the Breakfast Club was probably one of the first
podcast.
It wasn't called that. You know what I'm saying? It was just, but they were already doing it, filming themselves talking on the radio. Yeah. So I just always thought that was dope. So like just kind of wanted to be in that lane. And so starting All Over Radio, that's really was the first one. And we were really tackling like issues that affect like the Black community, community outreach programs, different issues that go on in relationships with Black people, and like really trying to have things that uplifted and spoke to our people. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Brandon Ricks, also my guy A.O. Clark. Like we did a bunch of episodes, man, and was able to get a good reach. Like probably the more organic type of podcast, like as far as what we do, because people didn't know us. Yeah. And so we really got a lot of pushing behind it. But no, we was fortunate though, because we ended up getting like like some money. We got some funding from an investor for our first one. He gave us a check to start our podcast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Vant Group.
So he kind of believed in y'all. And
yeah, he seen it, and he was close with my guy Brandon Ricks, and he just believed in the vision. And the only unfortunate part of it was we went into COVID right after. And so we didn't really know how to function. Everybody's business took a hit then. So luckily he just kind of let us walk away clean with everything. And like we was able to keep everything, as far as our name and, the rights to everything and stuff like that. So that's kind of the first iteration of All Over Radio, which is what we use primarily now.
And that's something too, even like people got to understand, like even your names and your rights, and you know what I'm saying? Like, what's some of that stuff that you...
Yeah, bro, if you don't go through, if you get your LLC and your trademarks and all that stuff to be able to say and call yourself something, everything down to the logos, everything that you have, so that way nobody can take anything from you. But after you get to a certain point, if you have a certain amount of work out there, what I noticed is people will recognize you. And if somebody takes from you or they start doing something that's close to what you do, it doesn't really affect your business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really a copycat business because everybody's doing the same shit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt you. Like if you started a podcast studio right now, I don't feel like you step on my toes at all. You know what I'm saying? Because it's such a broad spectrum of people that do it. And so it's just, you wouldn't think that people, pay to get their shit done. But people do, man. Or even if they do it themselves, they pay to get it edited and they pay to, get certain effects on it to make, their name pop up or whatever, bro. So it's just a different kind of business to be in.
It's crazy you say that. I kind of feel like that's what kind of started you.
Man, no, fact.
In recording and editing, the pay.
Oh yeah, fact. Yeah, because like coming off of like having somebody invest in it, you didn't have to pay for any of it. So we was booking. Now, man, granted, if I would have got that money right now, if you said I got a certain amount of money to give you for a podcast to start it, I would know what to do now because I've been through it. But at the time, I feel like we mismanaged a lot of it and we put a lot of money into the production. Yeah. So if you look at them podcasts, like they're like greatly produced. You see what I'm saying? Like they look great as far as like what we were going for. Like the people that was doing it was able to capture what we wanted. The camera wasn't the best, but like the production team was some people over in Indonesia somewhere we was paying to get it done. So we paying for studio time, we paying to have them film it, we paying to have it edited. So we only had a season's worth of time to get this done because we ran out of money after the first season.
Yeah.
And so during the process, bro, it was a guy that came through and helped us, and I believe his name was Zach. Shout out to Zach. That's what we're gonna say his name is. And Zach was a white guy, came in, didn't know none of us. We three black guys with a podcast about black issues. and he was a podcast consultant. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Like, what is that? Like, what do you do exactly? Like, I'd never heard of this before. And so he just came in and give you advice on how to do your podcast and how you should structure it, how you should break down clips, where to get your audio clips from for different stuff, how long of a song you can play before it gets, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we would pay him for everything that he did. And so I was just like, man, if I was doing my own, or if I just had my own equipment, like I could do the same thing. I could charge people to do podcasts, which would essentially give me the chance to do it for free. Like I can do my own and I have to feel like I got to make money from subscriptions and views. Like what's the easier route to get some money? I can just produce these for other people. Like that cuts all that other stuff out. I don't care if I got 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube. Like if I produce a podcast for somebody else, I'm still gonna make money. So it was just kind of a win-win, like trying to figure it all out. Cause I had never like filmed anything or I never recorded any audio for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I never done none of that. But going, and I shout out to Mark as well at Podcast Suites. He kind of became like a mentor to me because his setup gave me the ability to do it myself. You know what I'm saying?
Just like seeing his stuff in
it. And then Mark wasn't gonna sit in the studio with you and do it for you. Like he's gonna turn it on and be like, this the thing, here's some sound effects. You could play music through it. I could put a video. He gave me all the aspects and was like, but you gotta tell me how you want it done. So in essence, he was teaching me how to executive produce my own content. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like you come up with the topics. If you got pictures, send them to me. I'll put them on the screen. You play your own background music. You play your own effects. If something happens, you press your own bomb. If somebody too loud, you turn down your own volume. You know what I'm saying? All you get from me is you pay to be in this room. Like I can go live on Facebook and YouTube for you and monitor it while you in there.
So if he had the engineer, that was extra cost.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because now it's not just you booking the room, you booking my time too.
Yeah.
And so I was like, damn, this man is cold for that because there's people in here all the time. Like he's getting money from all these people. So it was just motivation, bro. So shout out to him for that because then when it came time for, us to set up here and do what we was doing, it kind of gave me a leg up on it because I had the equipment. I just didn't have the knowledge to do it yet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's, so going back to, what's his name, Mark?
Yeah. So
in Mark Studios, you learned about the Rogue and all the different equipment that you need.
Uh-huh.
What was the first recording like? Do you remember the first show?
Well, the ones we used to do at his podcast, we used to use his camera, and we would do it. The very first one I did though, I hired a filmographer. Shout out to my brother Huey Ross. He shot a lot of music videos for me. But I would have him come and just give me a standard view with his camera because he had a real dope Sony Red or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he would just set up his camera and we would use the one in the studio and his. And then he would put it all together for me. You know what I'm saying? Give me a low price. He always showed me love. And so those were my first videos, like me doing it on my own. Like I'm gonna handle the audio, somebody else gonna handle the video, and then he put it together for me and send me the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I started doing it that way. And my first one I did actually was with a battle rapper out here named Street Hymns. And that was really my first venture into it. And it came out super dope, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a lot of it that was still kind of choppy because of the other camera and me mixing and doing things I wouldn't do now.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was strong enough for people to see it and be like, hey, I fuck with that. Because even after I did it, he just hit me and was like, hey, keep doing this. He was like, this was dope. And so it was kind of confirmation that I was going in the right direction. And so it just kind of branched off from there, bro. And we actually, we was able to get a lot of love from a lot of people out here, in the industry, music and entertainment. So it kind of just branched into a life of its own, man. Like for real. Like
when so just doing it for yourself because you know what I'm saying, hey, you had the opportunity to learn the equipment, you had the opportunity to just do it. And so doing it for others was at the beginning have always been like kind of the mindset?
I would say initially, no. Initially, it was always going to be doing it for us. But it kind of transitioned into doing it for others once I saw I could make money from it.
Okay.
And I saw that there was how you find a need and then the supply, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, supply and demand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was like I seen that people was wanting to do it because if people would ask me when they saw mine, they'd be like, damn, who did that for you? Who filmed that for you? Y'all did the audio too? who mixed the audio for you? And it was like, oh, Mark did the audio, Huey did the video. But in my mind, I was like, damn, if I bought this board and I got the camera of my own, then I could, I can maneuver. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the homie Rod T. He had a camera of his own that he really wasn't using. And so we was using his camera and a little webcam. I don't know if you remember, I used to have
a little webcam.
And we just was practicing, bro. We would just set up in here, and shout out to you because I think the biggest thing about that was like having a space to create. Yeah. And like, that was the biggest thing. Like if you don't have the space to create, you kind of you're doing it on the fly, like on a whim, or you having to pay for the space and then pay to create at the same time for a product that's not making you any money. And so that's always a backwards hustle. So shout out to you for that, man. I've always been appreciative of that because that kind of allowed me to get my feet under me and shit like that.
I mean, it worked out because it paid dividends because I didn't know that we were going to transition into this, like, far as like this content creating world.
Nah, at all.
But you going through your growing pains and us going through it together, you know what I'm saying? It created like this content machine, like, you know what I'm saying? I can hit you up anytime.
For real.
And they're gonna pull up with the camera and they're gonna pull up with the mics. You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of them situations.
Like that's one of them things that we talk about. Like, why aren't we doing it?
Yeah, why are we doing it? Yeah.
Like, is there a reason why we not doing it? Because then it's just procrastination.
Yeah,
like,
we don't put out content just because we lazy. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, why are we not doing it? So we might as well, and then give people a quality look as well, which is important, bro. Like, that was always my thing, to have like a quality product that was affordable to people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so like that space allowed us to do that. And so it gradually grew because, as the business grows and as the years pass, so does the technology.
Yeah, but you kind of brought it all to us, like, no cap. I remember the conversation we had. You like, what you doing with the room? You know what I'm saying? We sitting there looking at the room. Don't get twisted. We made some paper. You know what I'm saying? Hell of a lot of money, but I think what you did to the group, you know what I'm saying, with, the people around you, put them in a mold, like, damn, the shit really is as easy as, you know what I'm saying, it ain't really that hard. All you gotta do is turn on the camera and get to talking.
Right. Like we talk about the same shit anyway. Like it's not like these aren't generic things that we doing. Like everything that we do is a byproduct of who we are. Like even what we doing right now, I didn't have to go find a barber to do this. Like this is what you do. Like, so it's an easy thing for us to do. And those are the things I feel like we always need to capitalize on. Because there's a lot of people who can't create content, bro. Like, for real.
And two, how you open up my eyes, because when you came to me with the podcast idea, you like, I'm gonna need content, you gonna need practice, so you wanted me to start. So I had an idea behind the cut, but my thing back then, I wanted to just strictly interview barbers. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about it as like a entrepreneur, but what I'm saying, like watching you in here and bringing in different people, and then and then even thinking about the name of it, Behind the Cut, Creative Unique Talent. I like, they're so broad and so spread out, you know what I'm saying? And you were sitting in the chair like, now getting a haircut, and you like, yeah, man, with that you can interview these type people, these type people, these type people. I'm like, damn, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just thinking strictly about the industry that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? But so it kind of like gave all of us a glimpse into what could be, you know what I'm saying, as far as with podcasting, with creating content, you know what I'm saying? Even coming up here, you know what I'm saying? You coming up here, pushing us stuff back, you know what I'm saying? We setting up the screens, you know, the white screens, the green screens, you know what I'm saying? Just doing things like that. It kind of like, without having to pay a dime, without having to pay money, it kind of shows you like, this all it is. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really nothing hard.
Ain't no smoke and mirrors.
This all it is.
Ain't no smoke and mirrors here. Like, this is exactly what we do.
This is what it is. Like, it's so, and then it kind of pushed us. Like, I even told you, like, going, like when you learn the road, that shit was amazing because I see you learn that shit in less than a year.
Oh yeah, niggas up
in less than a year.
All the time.
You know what? I know they take long nights. They take.
Hey, I'll be up here, and then, mind you, this ain't close to my house, so you know, I nigga just be up here, like not knowing who else is here, what else is going on, like just bouncing things off of you. Like even if you look at when we first started up here to where it ended up getting to, like just how we thought we was gonna do it to opposed to like where it ended up getting to, it was night and day. You know what I'm saying? Like so much was learned, and like in that process allowed me to be able to see like, okay, we could expound on this. Like we can do this anywhere. Like we can set this up anywhere. Like we can set a camera up, get the sound, and do all this anywhere.
Anywhere in the world, anywhere. Bro. You done did podcasts at bars. You done did some at what's that down there in Frisco, the Star?
Oh man, yeah, pretty much everywhere you can think about, bro. If they let me set up there, like I've had the privilege, man, to be able to do stuff outside of, because it was always about music for me anyway. Music, sports, and entertainment was always me and my brother Clark's thing. Like, so that was the tie-in initially. Like, that's where we wanted it to get to. But then, like, once I started incorporating clients, it turned into like real estate agents and like doctors and lawyers.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, man. And so many people want to put a spotlight on their business or their profession. And so you get out of like content creation isn't just for an artist. Content needs to be created for every form of business.
Yeah.
And so if you have a way to promote yourself, the easiest, most transmutable way is video. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you have to be able to be kind of flexible with how you work. Like if I was just to say, oh, I can only work with people in my studio, then I'm gonna lose out on clientele that I wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? So having the ability to pull up on somebody somewhere, wherever they at, and set up and get it done and get it back to them and it be quality, it's been kind of my calling card so far. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't make no excuses. You could be anywhere, bro. If you got an area that I can set up some lights, I can bring the whole thing and be set up and taken down in an hour and 30 minutes if need be.
No. What he say? It ain't gonna be cheap now.
No.
No, I'm just playing.
Nah, listen. Nah, we can talk.
I get you right, but it ain't.
We can talk, man. Listen, we can talk, but like my motto with that is like, don't make me work too much if you don't expect to pay me equivalent. Like, don't make my workload so hard if you don't expect to pay me anything. Like, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? And I'm probably below market as it is. So if you complaining about what I'm charging you, then you just didn't want to pay at all. Like, and that's fine too. Sometimes people feel like the work that they put in with this stuff is going to win for them because of who they are and what they bring to the table. And that's cool too.
No.
But that's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my way of going about things. Like, I'm not always trying to charge everybody. Like, that may not be the case, but like, there has to be like something we can work out.
Hey, I got a saying, if I'm making your life easier, you gotta make my life easier in some way.
Yeah, reciprocate that, if you please. You know, I think it's only respectable.
If you ain't doing that,
it's only respectable. But I've been fortunate enough, man, and like people like you are very rare in this shit. But like I've been fortunate enough to meet some decent people out here, man. What I will say is like being an artist and being in the music world a lot, like some of the doors I was never able to get in through music. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we've been in all of them now. We've been in all of them. Like, it's people who I talk to about the media stuff that I would have never talked to as a rapper. Maybe eventually, you know what I'm saying? But like, on top of the fact that they know that I am a rapper and like, but I do this seriously. Man. It helps, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of opportunities, man, that I've had. So it's been dope though, like to see things work out the way that they do. And not to say that you've reached like your pinnacle, but like, I'm just glad to be able to say we've made progress. It would suck to be able to sit here and be like, bro, we started this a long time ago. What happened? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? We ain't did nothing.
Yeah,
you know
nothing came about that shit y'all was doing. What happened, bro? Like, nah, bro, we actually still going in this.
And being able to in your life accept and appreciate where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Where you are. Like, and I keep reiterating, like, for a motherfucker to not know nothing about podcasting, nothing at all, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing about podcasting, nothing about, you know what I'm saying? None of that. And to be still standing, you know what I'm saying? Be where you're able to have your own podcast studios that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's a blessing.
Profitable and doing well, man. You got to applaud that.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to appreciate that. And I believe a person in that situation, you know what I'm saying, have something to share, to tell other entrepreneurs. So I think that appreciation for where you came from and where you are.
Man, for real. Every bit of the journey, bro. Like I think my journey for me is like, if I ever had the opportunity to like tell like your story completely, like from the most humble beginnings that you can imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like you come from somewhere where, like if anybody would ask me that I grew up with, would they expect to see me doing the things that I'm doing? They'd probably tell you no. And so I appreciate every part of the process, and I never want to get to a point where I'm complacent and I feel like everything is the way it is because it's supposed to be that way, because it's not.
And they grew up in Compton.
You see what I'm saying? And so when you make it from somewhere, you always have that thought in the back of your mind to like, I don't want to go back to what I know. I don't want to go back to what was like, could be considered a low point in your life. And so you work with that in the back of your mind, bro, with everything that you do. Like, I got to make progress. If I'm not making progress, I'm doing nothing. Like, you're literally sitting in place. And so, you know, a lot of times people can be okay with that, but I just always wanted to be competitive for one. So if I'm looking at the market and seeing, okay, what are people putting together as far as media content? And you see the quality of some of these content creators out there, and it's like, man, why? Like, I can't keep up if I'm not on the same level as them as far as how it look and how it sound and the presentation of it.
And that's the thing, like, too, I don't mean to cut you off, but I get so pissed off when people be like, I don't know what to do. You look at the shit every day.
Come on, there's so many examples.
You look at the shit every day.
There's so many examples of how it should go.
If you're trying to run any business, start any business, most of us, we look at the shit on Instagram or whatever, Facebook or TikTok, whatever. We look at what we're into.
Yeah.
Do what they doing. If they get up in the morning, talk about their product, you get up in the morning, talk about your product. If they goddamn me putting videos out, making their shit, you put videos out making your shit. Right. Like, you do what the fuck you see.
You see it done over and over again. There's so many examples of it. The part about it is one, it's will or skill, bro.
Yeah.
Either you can do it and you don't want to, or you want to do it and you can't.
Yeah.
But the other part is you don't have to do everything yourself, but you're going to have to pay for somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
So it's either you're going to invest in yourself or you're going to put the work in yourself. You can either make an initial investment to say, I'm going to put it into myself to create it and figure it out, or I'm going to have to set aside a budget that works for me, that helps me get the job done to where I keep my hands clean and I can pass this off and somebody else can get it done for me. Or somebody like me can do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. But you got to pick a side, though. It's a way to do it and really maximize everything you got going on. I'm thankful that I had a lot of people that paid attention to it, for one. And any guest that we've ever tried to have on or work with, and I've worked with a bunch of them. You know, from the start, like us being tired with, like, shout out to George Lopez and Z-Star, the Realist podcast. They had just came off of winning Best Podcast for the Observer. And, you know, they came and did our show. They brought us on their show. Z-Star used to come up here and help us film.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody to, like, rest in peace to Big D. Mogul Media came up here and did a pod with my brother Rakim. And Smooth Vega, who has one of the biggest podcasts in the city, has come on multiple times.
Drop the name.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we've had them all up. Nah, for real though, but you have to for people to take you even remotely serious. You know what I'm saying?
And you, in anything too, you're gonna either do two things. You're gonna either sell a product or you're gonna provide a service.
Right.
So I think once you kind of break it down into those two aspects, you can kind of start navigating and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. I think if you can find a way to monetize what you do and still have a way to do what you want to do, then you win. Like, if this is what you love to do, you can necessarily make things happen in a way to where I can make some money off of it and I can still do it for my own personal use. And that was like the main thing for me. Like, because it's hard to sell if you doing this, bro, and I'm not gonna lie. If you doing something like this and you're not making any money, and you just shelling out stuff for content and that content ain't making no money, then you just kind of pouring money into a black hole damn near. You know what I'm saying? So my main thing was like, I can't sit around and wait for people to like me and like my podcast and follow me on every social media site, and you know what I'm saying? But I have been lucky enough to build up like pretty dope relationships with people in the entertainment world, to where like when we first came into it, it didn't take much for us to be able to get these people to come rock with us. And so, you know, word of mouth is the best thing, bro. And we spent a lot of time going into it, starting off doing that. So like I say, shout out to people like George Lopez and Z-Star and everybody else that has come on, man. And I've had the ability to also film and record podcasts for some pretty prominent ones too. So, you know, notable ones like, let me see if I was to name a couple. I do a lot of niche things. So like I did one called Fashion Rocks for these two individuals that had a show on Lifetime. It was like $1 Million Shopper, it was called. And so that translated into them doing an audio only podcast. That was like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not something I ever really tell people I was doing. You know what I'm saying? But they come recorded at my studio. I edited for them. I put all the sound together. And, you know, I do a lot of that kind of stuff though. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about getting your feet in any kind of lane you can, bro. Like if I'm not partial to whoever it is, I'll film and record whoever. Like it don't matter.
So, do you put opportunity over money?
Depends on the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I've had some pretty dope opportunities that didn't pay me anything. But then when people talk to me, they bring up those opportunities.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They remember them.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's super dope sometimes to have things that happen that get etched in people's minds. Like some, you know, $1 is gonna come and go.
Yeah.
But if I do something, you remember like, damn, bro, I seen that piece of content you had with Jill Scott. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, how you make that happen? A person will remember that, like I got interviewed about that and people want to know how that happened and the backstory. And so like them kind of opportunities are priceless because then you get like, you know, you really get things that you can say that you've done, push notches on your belt type of deal.
Already. And podcasting is just one of the podcasting is just one of the elements, if I can use that word, all over media.
Facts.
How was the thought, what was the origin of all over media?
Music. Music, bro. Like coming up with the concept to it was all based on music when we started it. You know, the homies was producers and, you know, I was a rapper, of course, and like putting it together that way. Like it was just all, you know, all over. Like we wanted that to be what it was. And, you know, putting it together, starting it as a youth and like getting older and seeing, hey, maybe I should take this serious. But it was all based on the music. Me being a rapper, what I would go under, you know what I'm saying, as far as a music group, I never was signed to anybody or had the opportunity to have a record deal or nothing like that. So I always represented myself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How did the idea come? Like, what was the initial concept? Like, what was? I know it was constructed around music, or how was it supposed to?
Initially, just when the all over idea came about for me, especially the tie into music and media, it was just something where I wanted to be able to produce content. Kind of in a sense, there used to be a group of guys back in the day, back in my time. I say back in the day because I'm old now. But back in our time, called Creative Control, and I always reference them when I talk about where I wanted to go with my content. But what they would do is they would give you like either music videos that were very behind the scene-ish, but they'd be very well shot, very thought out, but they wouldn't be like scripted. Yeah. It'd be like behind the scenes footage.
People chilling.
You know what I'm saying? But it'd be like a currency video featuring Wiz Khalifa. Yeah. But they'd be putting a song together, but they'd be using the dopest camera and like it just was very well put together, but it was documentary style. Mm-hmm. And that was always what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted that for myself. But I didn't know anybody as an artist that was doing stuff like that. And so for me, the media part to tie in with the music was that. Like, how do I get that kind of content for myself consistently? Yeah. Without having to fork over an arm and a leg every time we do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my main thing on top of that.
Because you were trying to push the rap.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to push my music and I want it to be shown a certain way.
but like I can't really count on too many people to do it for me that I don't have to pay.
Yeah.
So it's like and then I don't know what I'm doing, putting it together. Like I'm still figuring it out. So it was just always chasing that aspect of it. And so getting behind the camera was me kind of wanting to do that myself and doing it for other people and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
What year was this?
Initially, me starting this was probably, I say we started this creating content this way in like 2000, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
No, I'm talking about when that too, but when the ideal all over me. What year was that?
Oh, the initial idea. You talking about? Geez, bro, this is probably 2002.
Damn. So you?
No, this is earlier than that, bro. This is like middle school. Shout out to my brother Dre Boski, my brother Ace the Royce, man. You talking about walking to middle school, playing basketball, saying what we gonna call ourselves, and all over was the thing that we called ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it initiated at. Like just coming
all
up
over.
With it. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere, bro.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I'd have to ask Dre about that. Like, why did we choose that?
Yeah. But I ain't want to cut y'all. So y'all had an all over group.
Yeah. It was just us. It was me rapping, my nigga H rapping, and Dre doing the beats. And then we had shout out to my brother Soundwave. He was producing at the time. If anybody, go look up Soundwave. I talk about him so much. Go look him up if you want to know who that is. And he was making beats for us at the time, letting us record songs at his house. And that's where it started, bro. Like it was just us. And so me coming to Texas, it was just me branching that off into what I wanted it to be. You know what I'm saying?
So dude, what's that conversation now? Like when y'all look back and talk about all over, like
man, it's just trying to continuously push it, bro. Like my thing with this, bro, and this is, for anybody that's ever wondered it, if you watching this and ever wanted to know, like, what's my motivation for anything that I'm doing, it's just to gradually get to the next level.
Yeah.
Because there's not a human being out here that can say that I'm too smart to where I made it here and you'll never make it here because you're not smart enough. Nah, it's not that. It's just the work. Yeah. Niggas just put the work in. And so my thing is always trying to get to the elevation of it all. If we doing this, bro, let's get to where we should be at. Like everybody should, after a certain amount of time, you put your 10,000 hours in, bro. Let's get to where we should be at with this. We shouldn't be spinning our wheels with it. So I've always tried to stay progressive, bro. Like I want to keep. Every time you see my shit, I want you to feel like I got better.
Yeah.
Every single time, no matter what I'm doing, every single time you see it. That's what you should feel like, man. Y'all niggas where from where y'all started to where y'all at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the goal, bro. Like that's
just to get better and to progress.
That's all.
And that's simple in its when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? If you just strive to get, I think it's a saying out here now. If you just strive to get 1% better every day,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
That 1% matters.
A little bit over time goes a long way.
Or you settle in complacency.
Yeah.
And that's not something I've ever been cool with. Because being in the same place for a long time only creates resentment.
Yeah.
And now I can't even focus on the goal because I'm frustrated about where I'm at. It's a whole mental thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, let's just try to get better. Let's try to, even if it's a matter of like the crowd of people you surround yourself with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes doing a lot of this shit along your path, like things are going to transition.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same, bro. And sometimes you lean on people for things, or sometimes you have like ideas that come from others, or you get together with people for a certain period of time and y'all create dope shit, but then that shit goes away.
Yeah.
But that may be because you need to get to another level, and sometimes where you at doesn't get you there. So you got to be willing to grow, and the people around you, either we growing together or we growing apart, which is still fine. But it's just the work you put in, bro. That's all. Like the work you put in is always going to translate.
Man, you got a hell of a grind too. And like I say, podcasting is only one kind of aspect, one element of all over media.
Mm-hmm.
Like juggling the different things that you do. Like I think people too need to understand, like being an entrepreneur look different to different people.
Yeah.
And
ain't no one size fits all.
Yeah, like one size fits all. You one of the ones that I know for a fact that You know what I'm saying? Still, I know restaurant owners who drive buses.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got a family. You know what I'm saying? Very active in your kid's life.
Oh, definitely.
Better dad than me, man. I can have my kids all the time, man. I'm just
like, they listen. They literally here right now.
Like I be like, man, your wife is blessed, boy. 'Cause boy, she talk to mine. Mine be like, that nigga don't do half that. I'm the typical like. I'm the typical like I don't really discipline really. I don't
you say I'm hands off.
No, not really. I'm hands on, but in my own way. You know what I'm saying? I talk shit to them. You know what I'm saying? I got a way of making them do what I want to do.
Right,
but,
right.
Like, having them with me all the time.
Oh yeah, it's a different.
That's different. That's next level. Like,
yeah, man,
for real. And I ain't ashamed to say it, but listen, I do not have my kids with me.
Nah, you know, what I think it is, bro. I think like my time that I spend with them be short. It's so short sometimes.
Yeah, because
of the hours that I work, and you gotta like. For me, like doing what I do, I work a full-time job. Like that's 8+ hours of my day that's taken away. And then like, if they're in school, they get out of school, they tired, they need to rest, all that kind of stuff ties into it. So you got to try to find time in between there for your children. And so, or just your family in general, bro. Like, luckily I got a wife that let me go, like my OGs used to say, let you go down the street. You know what I'm saying? She let me go down the street. And so that allows me the ability to do the things that I do. And so if I'm just out and about, shit, if y'all want to come with me, come along. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think that that's vital. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have that as a kid. And so
I'm talking about, man, to the point, I don't even expect you to see, when you say you coming, I expect one of them.
Every time.
Like if I say, hey man, I'm gonna come down to the studio and record something, I expect one of them at least.
They're gonna be up there.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So juggling multiple things and having different hats to put on at one time, man. How do you mentally prepare for that? Like, how do you mentally, it's just something you do?
No, I think for anything in life, bro, if you love to do it, there's no burden to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I see it. Like, if I love to do something, there's no burden to this, right?
Yeah.
And so I think if it was me forcing myself to do it, then it would be a different scenario. But I think a conversation that I had before with somebody is we learned as men how to do all the wrong shit and we perfected it.
Like a motherfucker.
You see what I'm saying? We perfected it. But the things that like being like a successful in a successful relationship as a father, husband, all of that, uncle, all that shit, we don't really brag about those things. And it's like, damn, why don't we? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I think that's really a motivation for me, bro. It's like that part of my life I enjoy as much as anything. And so, you gotta celebrate it, man. Like I enjoy Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like I do. Like I take pride in that. That's not something that I'm ashamed of because it's another title that you can say as a man that you have, and like, to be there for your kids and your family is a big deal anyway, because you created it. And so it goes back into what we talking about with creating and being who you are in general. Like I've always been in that mode of being a creator. And so, I put this life together. I got to be there for it to see it to fruition. You know what I'm saying? So I don't try to abandon any responsibility.
Yeah, man, you take it all.
Yeah, I don't try to. And then that's kind of like the weakest quality that I felt that my father had. If you wanted me to be completely honest and transparent.
I'm not gonna be that nigga.
Yeah, I feel like just completely like that was the most cowardice thing because it made me feel like there was something about being a father that was bad because he couldn't do it. But like once it happened to me, it was like, damn, nigga, this is what you was running from.
Let me just say this too. Some of you niggas, goddamn it, man.
It's weird.
Y'all some weird motherfuckers.
Yeah.
This shit ain't hard.
Nah, man, you just ain't got the time. If you don't got time, say you ain't got the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got the time, bro. Like,
because you're chasing everything else.
My thing is, think about it. If your ass done sit up here and call the, ooh, I almost said something. If your ass done, I'm finna cuss, boy. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. If you, please don't take this the wrong way. I gotta make it gotta come out how it come out. Well, man, your ass done sit up here and call the bitch, man, today. And you ain't picked up the phone and called your daughter or called your son.
Bro.
Come on, man. Like, if you gonna make it your priority every day to get up, good morning, beautiful, how the fuck, you know what I'm saying, all that shit.
Grand Rising Queen.
Grand Rising Queen. You need to make it your motherfucking
This is crazy.
You know like, if you gonna make that shit your responsibility, dog, come on, man. The shit is not that hard. I think it's priority.
Is that, and just kind of, I don't know, bro. I after having children, I just never not wanted to be around them.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand the logic behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you running from? Because they don't go anywhere. Like, they still gonna be alive. You just not in their life.
Like,
so you don't even care how they turn out, even though you made them, and it's a part of you.
I just think motherfuckers just quit trying for whatever reason. But that's a whole ass thing in itself.
Yeah.
To create something that, like, nigga, you had a part of and don't want to deal with, like, oh, this shit too much. It's too much for me now. Man, fuck that.
No, or you got issues with the other parent, so you take that out on the child and just don't be there.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Nah, we're not gonna play those games. But I got a rule as far as homeboys go. If you got kids and you don't spend time with them, we don't kick it.
Yeah, we ain't kicking it.
If I don't see your kids at no point in time when I'm around you, bro, then we don't kick it. Like, come on. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Especially if I'm consistently seeing you and I don't hear nothing about them. I don't see no pictures. You don't talk about them. You don't take your son to get his haircut. You don't spend no time with your daughter or.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
That's where we won't cut kids, man.
Nah, that's a fact.
Let me say this in one of
Go ahead and tell them.
I do not cut kids because I think personally there's a thing that a father should do.
Right.
Not a mother.
Right.
Not
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
No. We had this conversation. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
That's the one to leave out of it. Just you can say all of that, you know.
Okay. If you're not a daddy, if you're not a biological daddy, like even if you are a stepdad, but I think there's a bond between a man and a and a boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there are certain things that go on in a barbershop that, you know what I'm saying? And even when it comes down to like a man more typically will get up and help you cut their son. So a father will get up and hold the head for you.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like when a mama come and mama do it, man, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't that I don't cut kids.
Yeah.
First of all, they move.
Oh.
And it's a harder cut.
Facts.
Second of all, I don't like that sometimes with the mom, the sons are not, you know what I'm saying? They, you know, I don't like that pampering. This little boy.
They're not as obedient or structured at the time.
Don't pamper this nigga. Don't goddamn me. Oh, if you sit still, I'm gonna do this. No, make this motherfucker sit still.
Yeah, so we can
get on his ass so we can get through this and we can, you know what I'm saying? We get this done. Because typically, you don't want me to take a one and go through his motherfucking head.
Right.
You want me to cut his hair, nice fade type shit. So just, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I don't do it, y'all.
Yeah,
you know
that's his rule. And you hearing that from him. So when you ask me who cut my son's hair,
your father have to come.
You gotta be here.
And
the father gotta get a cut too.
Yeah, because come on now, it's a package deal, man. Like, it's a package deal. Like, what I look like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't cheap on the kids now. Like, come on now, $40, man. Come on, I'd rather have, just business-wise, I'd rather have, you know what I'm saying, an adult in the church, just money-wise, off the rip. But if I'm a, you know what I'm saying, cut your son, bring your ass too. Right. You know
and it'll help the son get through the process too. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, like, first of all, the like I say, the mamas, goddamn, man, they don't be.
Well, they don't know as well. Like they don't know. Hey, if he not being still, you got to get up. And
they expect us.
Yeah,
to
that's not the barber's job. Like, job. That's true. That's true. I think that's another thing though. I think growing up in the barbershop, my father being a barber, knowing the etiquette of it, like it's a science to it, bro. Like, and you really got to pay attention to what you're doing when you bringing little boys in there, because you know he had them screamers, bro. They, you know, if they ain't together, that kid will do that his whole life.
Niggas bring your son to get his haircut. That's all I'm saying. Quit sending your old lady. Nigga, make some time for you and your son to come get some haircut, because you know there's some stuff going on in here, baby, that Come on, man.
You ain't gonna be able to explain. So
you ain't gonna be able to explain.
Hear something to hurt your feelings.
You know what I'm saying?
Now your son can't get a quality haircut because you got offended. No. We don't sit in the beauty salon for that very reason because we don't want to hear that. You can get a haircut at a beauty salon. Shout out to all the women that do that. But I'm not going there to get a haircut because I need to feel a certain way in a barbershop. Like if a sports conversation pop up, I need to know what's the haps. I may be missing out on something. Or if it's some life conversations about being a man or things that's going on, like those are the kind of things that it's invaluable, bro. Like and you don't get that nowhere else.
And you know what I'm saying? It's just and shout out to the women that do it. You know what I'm saying? That cut hair. Like I ain't gonna exclude them.
No, one of my favorite barbers I had in life was a woman. She used to cut in Compton.
Yeah, shout out to the women that do it.
Man, she used to do a great job.
Place themselves in these type of environments. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Y'all the real ones. Y'all strong. Y'all the real
and get it done too.
Get it done. You know what I'm saying? But that's just for us me. You know what I'm saying? That's just principle that I stand on. I ain't saying this how you supposed to do it and how it go. That's just for me. I want to see fathers and their sons. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that relationship. Yeah. So if it's not a father brain, I don't do it.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to bring your son to get a haircut anyway. I wouldn't trust that with my woman. Like, and I wouldn't want my woman to have to know who a good barber is. She don't know what to look for. If you ain't never got a damn fade, you don't know what you looking for. If you ain't never got an edge up, you don't know what you looking for.
Yeah, then that give her time to go do something. Even if y'all ain't kicking it, y'all ain't cool, nigga, you ain't got the money. Tell her. Say, hey, she gonna get the boy haircut anyway. Tell her, hey, I ain't got the money. I want to get my son a haircut. Give me the money, get my son a haircut.
I'll take them. Because the hassle is the real part. Women hate coming to the barbershop. They do. I'm not gonna lie. They really don't like coming in the barbershop. Every woman that I know that has to take their son to get their haircut, most of them will sit in the car. And that goes back to what you said. There ain't nobody in there controlling it. They bring the boy in there, sit him down. He find out how many heads ahead of him. He sit there on his device. He get in the chair and the mama is in the car the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Man. So that's a true statement though. I do agree with that. Your son out and shit. Right. I just smacked him on the back of his head a couple times to be still.
Say man, be gritted my teeth. Beat your motherfucker still.
Yeah, I can see that being a hassle, bro. For real.
Yeah, man, that was a little tangent, man.
Yeah, you got to get your shit off.
I forgot what we were.
It's your show.
I forgot what we were.
I think that's a funny thing though, because that's something you've always told me. But and just knowing you, that's something you've always stood on. My son is 6 years old now, and so you've been cutting his hair since he ain't never had another haircut. Man. So. But it's just the thought of it like, damn, he really mean that shit too.
You gonna be a real nigga around me now.
Right.
You ain't finna goddamn me be slipping and sliding out here.
All right, facts.
And your wife never brung him to get his haircut. That's what I like about you.
Not a one time.
You know what I'm saying?
Either if I can't bring him, he don't get it. I wouldn't even dare. Hey, can you send him to the barbershop? Go up there and sit in the barbershop with him. First of all, she gonna be pissed off because she gonna have to sit and wait because she don't understand that the time frame don't necessarily mean the time frame. Yeah. So that's one of the things that goes. It's like the unwritten thing in the barbershop.
They know it's just when it's on us.
Nah, because if she go get her hair braided and that beautician ain't got her done in the time frame that she thinks, she gonna be pissed. Yeah. As opposed to me, nigga, I done sat in the barbershop all day before. You know what I'm saying? Like. Especially showing up with no appointment. Oh, I'm in there. Like, I can't be partial at all. But that's the difference, though. You know what I'm saying? So, I just not having to do none of that.
And then you typically the last cutter. So.
Oh, yeah. I make that the mission. Like, I will put that in the request.
If you the last cut, then, hey.
Make us last, bro. We'll come up here 10 o'clock at night if you tell us to. Bring your blanket and your pillow, son. You got to take a nap when you get done.
But yeah, man, just being active in them kids' life.
Yeah, bro.
It's a beautiful
thing.
It's important. Running your business for all you motherfuckers looking for the perfect, I can't do this because goddamn it, I gotta pick my kids up from school. Like I can't do this because goddamn it, I gotta have a baby girl and no, fuck all that, man. Like
you either gonna do it or you not. Because nobody give a damn about no excuses. Man. What I'm gonna tell my kids if they get older and be like, damn, daddy, what did you do in life that you proud of? Like, did you leave a legacy at all? Did you leave anything for me that's tangible? Like, and so you got to think about those things too. Like, are you just out here, like when your kids look at you, what do they see? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big interpretation of who you are as a man as well.
Yeah.
Like who does your wife see? What kind of man does your mother think you are? Like what's your relationship with your father? Has that had any effect on you as a man? All them things.
So while we on that conversation, like I think like in business we should be men. Like
oh yeah.
I think as a man you just need to, you know, have a certain type of grind, certain type of tenacity to you. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I think
because there's a certain time frame where you're gonna have to like you got to get after it.
Yeah, like I don't think like, and I ain't saying like I kind of agree with Steve Harvey. Like you gotta have like think about it. A lot of us, and I had this conversation with somebody today too, that come on man, your life expectancy is really at best 80 years.
And you gotta waste the first 30 to 40, nigga. Think about that. Sleep
like, procrastinating. Come on now. We all do it, but it's sometimes you got to wake up and got to understand, like, if I really want this shit to happen, I gotta work toward it. I gotta do what I need to do to make this happen, man.
That's probably the best piece of advice my father ever gave me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, talking to that nigga told me, he said, a man gets up and go after it. He was like, that's the one thing I respect about you is that you get up and get after it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's always been the thing. Like, and if, you know, I got a son, bro, like if he can't see me at home every day, like living off my woman and like depending on other people. And if I want something, I gotta wait for somebody to give it to me. Nah, he need to see like, nah, we get up and get after it if we want it. So you gonna come with me to the studio. You gonna come with me up here to film. All that, nigga.
Yeah, you got to, man. You know, I think if you just really be honest, man, we make too many goddamn excuses.
That's exactly what it is.
We make too many excuses and
about things that we want. Like, you want a certain lifestyle, but you making excuses about how to get it.
And then you hate on the motherfucker who
that got it. Yeah, that's my you just spoke a word. If I had a bomb to press or something on my board, this would be the time.
You hate on the motherfucker who got it. You know what I'm saying? Or you feel like a motherfucker don't deserve it because, you know, they struggle wasn't as hard as yours. No, them motherfuckers work, right. Dog. We all got the same amount of time.
How'd you use your 24, my brother? Because obviously they maximize theirs.
If this nigga used his time to create content and you use your time to flirt with a chick, then you can't be mad at him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or even say, for instance, or even if you was working as hard as him, how are you mad at him because his way worked and yours didn't? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's the other thing. Like, nigga be mad at you because you did something that worked. We was doing the same thing, but how yours worked and mine didn't.
Yeah.
Nah, it's because you go about it. Your blueprint was wrong, bro. Go about it a different way.
Quit trying to, you know what I'm saying, push that same mission. And that's a lot of things too, nigga. Like, you can't be stuck in your ways in business, bro. You can't. Shit moves, shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's ebbs and flows, bro.
Man,
like,
when I first started cutting, it was barbers who didn't want to make the transition. They didn't want to add enhancements to niggas' heads and shit. But man, I personally seen that it was a time like niggas didn't want regular haircuts no more. Yeah. Niggas wanted that. They wanted to get out the chair feeling like they finna go to a movie set. So, shit, I'm gonna put the shit on you. You know what I'm saying? Do I like new clippers? No, I think these new clippers is fragile as hell. I think you can barely put them in the station. You're gonna have to change the blade on the motherfucker. But niggas, I can't replace the cord. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That freed up the barber.
Nah,
when they went up cordless. So I said that to say you got to move with time. You got to be able to adapt. You can't be stuck. Oh, this is the way it's gonna go. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is how it was given to me, so this is how I'm gonna keep doing it. No, if you want to progress and you want to grow and you want to continue to make progress, then you got to be acceptable to some type of change.
Yeah, that's a big deal, bro. It is.
What you think that be? Like kind of pride?
I think now being willing to move with the times is always it's pride and a little bit of arrogance. So you feel like the way you gonna do it is gonna work regardless of what the times is.
And it could be a little fear too.
Yeah, because then it's like that unknown aspect of it, right? You don't really know what's on the other side of something new, but you've gotten so comfortable with what you used to that you don't want to transform. But with technology comes advancement, bro, and like you either get with it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like you can keep rubbing water on a nigga edge up and hitting him with that old razor if you want to. Spraying that water bottle on my forehead to loosen them hairs up ain't gonna do it, bro. You better find out what these new barbers doing that's getting that line up sharp. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, and that's the other thing. Like, but even come down to the equipment that you use. If you have a specific type of deal that you're going for, I'm big with that. So like I use Sony's. You see what I'm saying? Not because I feel like they better than anything else. They just provide me with the look that I want. Yeah. So you got to cater things to what works for you as well. You can't do what everybody else does all the time. Because people have learned to work with things that they have at the time. Yeah. And so if you can only get a certain kind of thing or a certain kind of clipper or a certain kind of camera, you learn to work with that and then you grow from there.
Yeah,
so,
you invest.
Yeah, but that's why it's not good to try to do shit in a copycat fashion because you don't know what that person has learned. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's definitely been a dope ride for everything, man. The tie-in, being a rapper, being able to be in these conversations with media people, sitting in rooms with people that I never would have been able to sit in rooms with. You know, being able to be a part of things. Shout out to everybody, man, that's contributed to all over. We've had a dope ride. All the other major publications and writers and just everybody like that, man, that we've had the ability to work with. It just kind of shows that what we've been doing has been working, man. And so, like, I think it's love to be able to have, like, you know, people that I consider peers as far as media goes and being able to reach out to certain people to do collaborative things and stuff like that is always dope.
Yeah, so that talks about relationships, man. Mm-hmm. So,
that's my biggest asset right now. Is that, bro? Like word of mouth has been the key thing in my business. Is people telling other people about it, telling people about their experience, whether it's them coming here, whether it's them coming to the studio, whether it's them going to Mark's studio. It's just people have always felt like, man, I get a good product and he cool to work with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been that, bro. So I pride myself on that. Like, you know, giving a good service and also being somebody that people can want to work with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big deal because that'll sink your business too. You can have all the great technology and have the perfect space and be an asshole and nobody wants to work with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that can very much well be your fate as well. So you got to be careful with how you treat people and how you go about this shit, bro. Like that's a big deal for me. Like I'd rather have a steady clientele of people I rock with than to have a bunch of people who just don't fuck with me at all and like talk shit about me and try to like sabotage my business. So I'm lucky I've never really had that, and everybody I've been able to work with, you know, most of the time if we work together once, I've worked with you twice. And so that's just a testament to good working relationships. Like I don't have no bad business tales for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't sit here and be like, man, I had this fucked up shit happen. Somebody got over on me or this or that, because everybody I've been able to do business with has been solid. And I like to have my business set up in a way, or the infrastructure in a way that it's nothing you can take from me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if we work together, like it's gonna be a mutual thing and we both gonna have the ability to walk away from it without losing nothing. And so I pride myself on that. I don't want to get too tied in with nobody that I ain't been working with from the start. Mm-hmm. So if I ain't been working with you, then let's keep it transactional.
My boy say no new friends.
Yeah, bro. Let's keep it transactional, keep it professional. We can do it all the time. If we want to show love to each other or provide a service, then that's cool. Yeah. But like, I'm not looking to get into nobody's crew and start a new group with you. Yeah. Nah, man, we're not doing that.
Starting a new group.
Like we know where we want to get, and everybody that's involved is involved. Yeah. And so, like at this point in time, I appreciate anybody that's looking to kind of, you know, show support. But I don't really need, you know, I'm not looking to include anybody into anything, man. We want this to move with everybody that's already on the ship. So it's
man. So like looking back, man, like 20 years, like damn.
Yeah, bro.
You say early 2000s, 20 years.
Man.
Like, And you said something earlier. You said if you love it, it's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you fall in love with making podcasts?
You know what's crazy? I don't even think it's the matter of like the making podcasts. I think it's just self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would probably be what I fell in love with, and that's always been my main thing as an artist.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna be able to, my art is through expression. It's like that's why I make music. I may not be as vocal in my expression in real life if I don't know you, so I tend to pour it into music. And so me doing media in this sense, podcasts are just a means of expression for me. So it's a means for me to get my opinions and points across without having to do the traditional social media thing. But yeah, that's really what it is, bro. Like being like having the ability to have an opinion on things and like and it really being things that you want to express yourself about. Like I said, when we started, we was talking about a bunch of things that as black men that we don't necessarily always get a chance to discuss. And so I kind of like those kind of conversations, bro. And like even when we talking music, I don't want to just interview a bunch of rappers. I don't want to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally don't want to do any of that. I want to do things to where if we do talk to people, we talking about the intricate details of everything.
Yeah.
Like what goes on in the process. Like I don't care when your album's coming out. That doesn't really do anything for me. Like what's the process of you making an album?
Yeah,
What goes into making an album for you? Like what's that process for people who don't know? Like those are things you look for. And so like that's really what it is, bro. I think self-expression has always been my biggest thing, bro. And that's since I learned how to write a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to tell a story within a rhyme has always been something like I've cherished as a person, and been blessed enough to do, man. Because I know it's not an easy thing, and so I just try to continue that, man, and that translated into creating visual content and stuff for other people, kind of pushing my vision onto them.
Yeah, like I said, you started it like I did not see like you even started me to watching podcasts like you put me on Dream Camp. You like, hey, no, like, nah. But hold on, you know it's gonna have one little pause when I need to concentrate.
For everybody watching, that's the concentration pause.
Yeah, I gotta get quiet on some moments. This happened real time. This is not a staged haircut.
Nope.
This is actual what we doing right now. So anybody that, you know, what would you say to that kid or that individual who like, man, I wanna dive off into making podcasts and helping people. And I feel like too, let me say this before I ask that question. A lot of times
I was gonna say my answer is gonna shock you.
I feel like a part of this expression is one thing, but I think like when you started seeing like your partners on camera, like OB, I don't know, it's like sense of like you wanted to help them or help your partners, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then the way your pricing set up is you know what I'm saying? It's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like you more want to help people than
it's very reasonable.
Yeah.
And I want it to be in a sense to where not only are we not just working on this one particular thing, we want it to be continual. Like we want this to keep going, right? So if I'm hitting you over the head every time you come to me, I'm not allowing you to get your idea out completely. Yeah. Because there is also an aspect, and even if you were to say in the question, like you said, like somebody coming up and trying to do this, I would say go to school. Like just go to school for it. Yeah. Because then you fast forward you fast track everything. So you don't have to wait to learn everything. You go into it knowing what you're doing. Yeah. But yeah, I think that for me is another part of it because you see people with different qualities that you admire and you want them to be able to translate into this shit, man. And sometimes, you know, overcharging people will run people off, bro. Yeah. Like, now there'll be certain things that I do have to charge you for that's not going to be as cheap. Yeah. But I do have means to do things that are cheaper than I would in normal circumstances. So say, for instance, if you're gonna have me pull up at your location to do something for you, I'm gonna have to tax you for that because I'm traveling, I'm bringing equipment.
Yeah.
It's a long process. But if you want to pull up and do something simple to get your feet wet in the process, this may be your first time, then I'm gonna show you some love and then I'm gonna tell you what you need to do to minimize the cost so you're not getting hit over the head every time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just having that ability to have them relationships with people, bro, and like not just trying to get over on everybody is a big deal for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your business model?
Right now,
Like what you would as let me break that down even further. Like, not for as pricing, but like what you stand on for as principle, for as like
quality.
Yeah, what is all over media? Let's say that.
It's quality, it's professional, reasonable priced, man, widespread. So it's not anything that like I'm particularly tied to. Like you can't box in what I do is how I feel. Like I can come shoot your concert footage. I can also come film your baby shower. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not one of those dudes because I work with people in the past. It's like, yeah, man, I'll shoot your music video, but I don't do weddings. You see what I'm saying? And so I just kind of pride myself on being like flexible in everything that I do.
Let me do it. Okay. Pride yourself on being flexible on everything you do. I'm just kind of keeping your memory going.
Yeah, and then even on top of that, like and then being able to provide a service that makes you want to come back. So, and then sometimes people just want information, and that's the other thing because that was what I was big on. I never really wanted a handout or anything, bro. I just wanted the information. Yeah. Like how do I get to it? Like I know what it is. If you could just point me in the right direction, and then that'll help my process. You know what I'm saying? And so. That's also big as well. Sometimes it ain't always monetarily how you can help a person. Sometimes just giving them the information and kind of pointing them in the right direction to help them. So I've always been big on that as well.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, kind of wrapping up the cup, but we ain't got to wrap up the conversation. What's the next level for All Over Media?
I think the main focus is like expanding my portfolio. Also, like I want to get into like some exclusivity type of deals to where, you work with certain companies and provide your services to them and them only, and being contracted to do stuff that way instead of kind of being freelance. More corporate type of deals to where you get paid for like larger scale events and like, filming conventions and things like that. Like doing like all that kind of stuff while still being able to pick and choose what I do in the realm of things that I'm into. But nah, man, it's just expanding, bro, and like growth, constant growth. Like I feel like, some of the greatest trees in the world, right? They've been standing for years, hundreds and hundreds of years. And all they do is grow. They continue to grow. They branch off into other things, but they just continue to grow. And so that's kind of what I see this as. I see it taking on different facets. We've dipped our toes into things like merchandise and different avenues to kind of keep things going. And so I just feel like, more of that kind of stuff. Like, whatever I can do to expand my portfolio I'm with. So it's a lot of things on the horizon that's coming up. And I hate to speak on things on camera, but just say, look out for it because I hate to date things. So as soon as I tell you about it on here, now you're waiting for it to happen and giving dates. Nah, just kind of be on the lookout for stuff, man, because it's we what I do see us doing. The more work we do is you come to these events, whether it's you come see me as a rapper, you pull up to the studio to get a haircut, you work with us in a collaborative effort, it's always going to be some dope shit. So that's kind of how I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I personally, man, want to appreciate you.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
One, from being an example of, what I'm saying, like I go back to, I always talk about your work ethic. Like you have, I don't think people really understand like what I witnessed. You know what I'm saying? Like less than a year, you became, what you needed to become.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what I'm saying? That takes some consistent work, man. I done seen you, even when you was here, man, I done seen you in here 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Getting the reps in, putting that time in. And I'm glad that it's paying off. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, you're receiving what you need to receive from it.
Yeah, man.
And like I say, and then thank you too, because there wouldn't have been a Behind the Cut if it wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? There wouldn't have, had not you, like I never, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I never, but what you always told me, hey man, whenever you're ready to work, let's work.
Right.
Whenever you're ready to work, let's work. Now, you know, it took me some time to really take advantage of it, but it always sparked it in me. Like, I always knew that anytime I was ready to drop some content, all I had to do was call you.
That was it.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? Because when you do things out of love, and that's what, like, when we came here, it was the love that you had for it. It was the amount of work you was putting in. You know what I'm saying? You never want to get a jumping business with lazy people.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, I appreciate you for being an example, you know what I'm saying, to any entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have you can be outsmarted, you can be outclassed, but it's on you if you outwork.
Right.
And I just believe that you're not gonna let an individual outwork you, bro.
Nah.
That's kind of the aura that I see around you, man. And I just appreciate you for always carrying that, always, you know what I'm saying, being honorable, you know what I'm saying, always honoring your word.
Right.
And, you know, just being an example of, like, yeah, what you need to do to get to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, like I said, we're wrapping up. Is there anything you want to say?
Man, I would say if I had an opportunity to say something, just to wrap everything up, it would probably be, you are what you put into this shit. And that's not even just business, just in life. So if life sucks for you, if it's great for you, it's typically a byproduct of what you put into it. So you can't make excuses. You can't place blame on anybody. You can't wonder why things don't work for you when they don't. The reason why they don't is because of the work that you put into it, and excuses are only the story you tell after you fail at something. So just keep at it. Like, you know, I think one of my favorite quotes from Nipsey is just his distinguishing quality is that he just never quit.
Yeah,
and I think you can't really beat that, bro. Like, even if you fail amongst the time that you working, you're going to prevail in some sense. And no movie is ever good without adversity, bro. Right. So you got to get through something. So just keep at it, man. And, you know, other than that, shit, you know, if you're looking for somebody to help you with what you got going on, we here for that too. So
how we get in contact with you?
Man, I'm gonna make it simple. If you are alloverall.com, any social media, just type in all over media, you're gonna find it, man. But overall.com, that's ALLOVAALL.com. And it'll get you wherever you need to go to find us, bro.
Bet, man. Hey, like I said, appreciate you talking to the people, man. You behind the cut, listen. We got products. You know,
man, make sure you check that out. We're gonna get a scan through this before I get out of here, man.
We got beard oil, we got shampoo, we got conditioner. We even dropping a skincare line with masculine. We got the wash, we got the cream, and we got the the spray. You know what I'm saying? Get you right. The mist.
Yeah, man.
You can look us up at smallzexclusive.com. Smallz Exclusive Art Studio, 684 West Pioneer Parkway. Hey, you need a chop, come check us out. You want a dope place, you know what I'm saying, to learn, to grow.
Facts.
You know, a dope environment that, you know, we're gonna pour into you, man. We're gonna teach you about business, teach you about your LLCs, teach you about your credit, teach you about the content. If you're looking for a spot like that to work, you know what I'm saying, then this your guy. If you're looking for a team to join with, then look no further than Smallz Exclusive Art Studio, because that's what we do, man. We groom people. We get you out there. We get you equipped for whatever task, whatever you want to do, man. We don't hold you back here. You ain't got to wear no matching capes. You ain't got none of that. You know what I'm saying? We strictly here for you. So if you're a stylist, if you're a barber, if you're a loctician, if you're if you do anything in the beauty industry, we got a spot for you, man. And if you're looking to grow and you're looking for someone and to help you and to groom you
then this is the spot for you because we do it all.
Facts.
We do it all. And yeah, so be on the lookout. Oh, follow the YouTube page, Behind the Cut.
Like,
Behind the
share,
Cut, creative,
subscribe,
like,
all them fancy things.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Comment, share, do all that there.
Get interactive,
Hey,
as
you
they
Behind
say.
the Cut, baby. You out.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. I hope one day you'll join us, and maybe we can live as one. When in search of peace, misunderstood, yet I